Light and peace, brothers and sisters. Topic of discussion today is Judgment Day. What exactly is Judgment Day? What is Judgment Day? Why do people keep on talking about Judgment Day, especially the religion people? In today's OahspeC teaching, I'm going to decode exactly what Judgment Day is based on the OahspeC Bible. Now, when we look at religion says that millions upon millions of the spirits of the dead are waiting for Judgment Day. That there's only one day that has been appointed for someone to die. However, that person that dies has to wait for Judgment Day. And the way they portray it is that we are waiting for one particular momentum day, one gigantic day, one day that every dead, spirits of the dead, are going to rise and they're going to meet the judgment and they're going to get judged by God. Now, let's think about this for a minute. So you're telling me humans that died 79,000 years ago, 76,000 years ago, 25,000 years ago, 188 years ago are waiting. They're all sleeping now, sleeping in their place of rest. And they're going to face Judgment Day one day. We don't know exactly when, but one day they're going to face Judgment Day according to some scriptures, like the Bible, especially the King James Bible or the Christian Bible, which sometimes I like to call the Ezra Bible, because Ezra actually inspired the Bible. He wrote the Bible, but he was under inspiration from Luomon and Gabriel. Now, when you think about this for a minute, it doesn't make sense to me if you ask me. First of all, why is God judging me, or why is Jesus Christ going to judge me if I committed a sin? Or should I say, I committed the bad behavior. I committed those bad desires. So why should God judge me? It makes no sense. God didn't do it. So why should he judge me? So let me break this. I'm going to try to put this into, I got two beautiful verses from the OahspeC Bible. I'm going to try to see if I can break it down. But I'm going to first expose this Judgment Day with these OahspeC verses from the book of Judgment. And then the second part it will be, I'll tell you exactly what Judgment Day is. I will tell you exactly what Judgment Day is. So from the book of Judgment, chapter 4, verses 17 to 20, I'm going to be reading from the book of Judgment, chapter 4, verses 17 to 20. So for those of you who've never heard about the OahspeC, I would suggest you Google it, or you could go to our OahspeCollegeUniversity.com website. We have a nice layout there that kind of summarizes everything. So verse 17, and there are hundreds of millions who, being dead, do not know anything, but through belief in Judgment Day. Let me pause there. So they believe in Judgment Day and went to sleep and are waiting for the trumpet of Gabriel to call them forth. So this verse 17 is actually saying that you've got millions of humans that died, and they're waiting for Judgment Day, because once they were human, during their lifetime, during their mortal life, during their corporeal life, they believed on Judgment Day. Now, where did they get that stuff from? The Bible. They got that from the King James Bible, what we popularly know today as the Christian Bible. They got that from there. Let me read verse 17 again. And there are hundreds of millions who being dead do not know anything, but through belief in a judgment day went to sleep and are waiting for the trumpet of Gabriel. So there's somewhere in the Christian Bible that says that angels are going to blow the trumpet on the trumpet day, and the spirits of the dead, humans that once lived on our planetary body, are going to rise while waiting. As soon as Gabriel blow that trumpet, we're going to rise. Verse 18, and I send my exalted ones to them to awaken them and call them up, but they are drunk with their faith. There you go, the Christian faith. They're drunk because they went to sleep waiting for what? The trumpet of Gabriel. They're waiting, saying that they believe in the judgment day. This verse 17 and this book of Judgment, chapter 4, verses 17 to 20, is really telling you this judgment day is fake. It's just a belief. It's nonsense. The idea came from a low-graded angel that want to trap you in your highest heaven. Not gonna let you know that there are higher heavens beside his or her heaven, because our goddess could actually deceive you too. You're gonna see in verse 19 now. Let me read verse 18 again. And I send my exalted ones to them to awaken them and call them up, but they are drunk with their faith, and they relapse again and again for years and years, for hundreds of years. So that last part on verse 18 is actually telling you there are some people, some spirits of the dead, who are actually sleeping. They're drunk in their faith. They're sleeping in their faith, waiting for the trumpet of Gabriel. Verse 19, fulfilling Jehovah's mandate that whoever is bound on whatever is bound on earth shall be bound in heaven. In other words, if you believe that when you die that you're gonna go sleep, you're gonna wait for judgment day, that's the same thing you're gonna be doing in heaven, because you've believed in the judgment day while on earth. So the Christian faith is actually a lie, and people are going to be waiting for hundreds of years, waiting for the trumpet of Gabriel. Where do you get that from? We got that from the Christian Bible. Verse 20, and that will be the last verse. And even as one drunken man on earth entices another to drunkenness, so are there hundreds of millions of idolatrous angels who return to mortals and persuade them to the same doctrine and debauchery. This is interesting. So what this last verse 20 is saying is that they got hundreds of millions of angels in the lower heaven that believe in judgment day, and they come back to our physical world and inspire humans to believe in judgment day, when in reality judgment day does not exist. So again, I ask this question. You've got 79,000 years ago when humans got populated, 76,000 years when we had the capacity of everlasting life, 25,000 years ago when the continent of Pan sank and the continent of Pan was destroyed. Humans from during that time, you're telling me some of them are waiting for the trumpet of Gabriel or trumpet of some bunch of group of angels. They're waiting for God to judge us, to judge them. So it's 2018 right now. So everybody that died in the year 2018 are going to be waiting for Judgment Day. People that died 188 years ago are going to be waiting for Judgment Day. That doesn't sound right. That's ridiculous. That's nonsense. And this is how the angels, this is how the Christian God, the Muslim God, the Hindu God, and the Buddha God got people enslaved. They got them bound. This is ridiculous. This doesn't make any sense. Judgment Day, why is God judging me when I committed a sin? I did the bad behavior. I got the bad behavior. I didn't control my bad behavior. I don't have control on my desire. In like my last video, I talk about the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirits are spirits who have control over. They're no longer bound to 7 desires, 7 behaviors that we are born with. And these angels have control over that. They don't lust over this control no more. So that's what exactly makes them Holy Spirit. For example, I'm not a Holy Spirit yet because I still got my desire. I still got this desire that I have not defeated. So why should God judge me? I should be judging myself. So let me decode this using the OahspeCollegeUniversity, and that will be the last chapter. So in the book of Judgment, chapter 20, verses 1 to 2. The book of Judgment, chapter 20, verses 1 to 2. God said, now, when in my videos, in my OahspeCollegeUniversity teaching, when I say God, I'm talking about the true God that has the mantle. He was given the mantle to rule over heaven and earth for a period of time, a temporary time, not a permanent time now, because they usually have other gods that come to rule during the sub-cycle. In the future, I'm going to talk about the sub-cycle, and I'm also going to talk about the cycle that we go through. We humans go through a cycle, and our planet also go through a cycle. I'm going to focus on our planetary cycle. We go through a 3,000 year cycle. And during that 3,000 years, you've got 7.5 harvest time, what religion ignorantly call rapture time. And during those time, you could say there's judgment going on, because sometimes God judged the false God. And there's a perfect example in the OahspeCollegeUniversity where the false God had to come to be judged. But they didn't get judged by God. They judged themselves. That's the point. You get to judge yourself. So let's see what this book of Judgment, chapter 20 says, verses 1 to 2. God said, there shall be a day of judgments to you, O man. Sooner or later, you shall take the matter into your own hand, and you shall look into your own soul to judge yourself. Let me say that again. You shall look into your own soul. You shall look into your own spirit. You shall look into your own mind. You shall look into your own brain. You shall look into your own capacity. You shall look into your own lifestyle to judge yourself. See that? You, as an individual, you the female, you the human, you the man, you the spirit, you the angel, you the God, you have to judge yourself. You see that? You have to judge yourself. This comes to all men. Did you hear that? This comes to all men. Let me read that again. This is beautiful. God said, there shall be a day of judgment to you, O man, sooner or later. So in other words, either you judge yourself now in the physical world, or you could judge yourself in heaven. You shall take the matter into your own hand, and you shall look into your own soul to judge yourself. This comes to all men. To all men. They didn't say few men now. They didn't say most men. It says all men. They include everybody. including animals, including spirits and angels and gods and goddesses. None can escape it. Did you hear that? This comes to all men, and none can escape it. Such, verse 2, such then is the judgment day. Did you hear that? Such then is the judgment day. Let no man complain against the judge. You shall be your own judge. Let me repeat that verse 2 again. That's the keynote. Such then is the judgment day. Let no man complain against the judge. You shall be your own judge. In other words, whatever you do in this life, if you don't go above the 7 deadly desires, if you don't go above if you don't have control on your desires, when you cross over and you still continue with your bad character, guess what? You shall judge yourself. Not me, not God, not the Creator. You, the individual, you, the spirit, you, the angel, you, the God. You have to judge yourself, including gods. OahspeCollegeUniversity gives us multiple stories of fake fallen angels and self-glorified gods and goddesses after committing atrocities over the years, deceiving people, cutting loose from the Creator. How later on they judge themselves and and decide serving the Creator again, but they judge themselves. The Creator didn't judge them. True God of heaven and earth in that jurisdiction did not judge them, but they judged themselves because you see your soul as a book, as an open book. So you get to judge yourself. Whatever you do is going to show itself like a mirror. And you get to judge yourself. You see? Let me read the last verse. This is from the book of Judgment, chapter 20, verses 2 now. Such then is the judgment day. Let no man complain against the judge. You shall be your own judge. So we judge ourselves. There's no such thing as judgment day. Yeah, there is a judgment day, but you're judging yourself. 20,000 people are not waiting. They're not waiting for judgment day. Millions of people are not waiting for judgment day. Those who believe in that theory, on that belief system, are bound and they go sleep according to what the book of Judgment, chapter 4, verses 17 to 20 just said, which I read before. They're waiting for the trumpet. They're waiting for an angel to blow a trumpet. And the angels of Jehovah, the Creator's angel, the Creator's ambassadors, the angels ambassador of the Creator, go to them, try to wake them up, and they refuse. Why? Because they're waiting for judgment day. It doesn't exist. It's a lie. That's how the religion bound your soul. So when you get to heaven, you become a slave to judgment day. Imagine that. You're a slave to judgment day. It doesn't exist. Brothers and sisters, after today's broadcast, the next topic of discussion will be rest in peace. What exactly is rest in peace? Rest in peace, decoded. Because for those who've been reading OahspeCollegeUniversity, we know for sure that when humans die, we don't rest in peace. Why do people use rest in peace? When somebody die in our physical world, everybody keep on saying rest in peace. That will be the next broadcast after this. Topic of discussion today was just to decode the judgment day. It doesn't exist. And if you believe in the judgment day, you're just going to go to heaven and sleep and wait for the angels to wake you up. It's a lie. Do not believe in it. This is why the OahspeCollegeUniversity came about. So we could rise people from this ignorance, from spiritual ignorance. I have dedicated my time for this so that I can teach humans, spirits, and angels about this information that the OahspeCollegeUniversity was channeled by a bunch of angels, Light and peace, brothers and sisters. Subscribe to our YouTube video. For those of you who have not subscribed, trust me, you want to subscribe. Upcoming topic, rest in peace. What exactly is rest in peace? After that will be who and what is the peace. The peace has been decoded. Thank you.